Welcome back everyone to your Spring Equinox 7-day yoga challenge. Today is day 6, and when it comes to yoga offerings, I really like to diversify it through different class types. So today's practice will actually be a restorative yoga practice. And when it comes to the haftsing table, if you're following along with that inspiration, today's item from the table is garlic, which is symbolic of health. And so what restorative yoga can do is help us to reset our nervous system and, just as the name suggests, rest. And not rest in the way that we do when we're sleeping, because when we're sleeping, although the physical body is resting, the mind can be quite active. In a restorative practice, we're consciously resting or relaxing the body as well as the mind. So as you see here, I do have quite a number of props. I've got some blocks, cushions, and a very thick blanket. So gather these things, and you may need them, you may not. But let's go ahead and start. So we're gonna come into a reclined hero pose, but it's gonna be completely supported. So what I'll do here is take the blocks, and I'm actually going to set them up so that they're quite high. I'm going to use this as the base. Okay. Then place the pillows on top. Okay, and I might even use the blanket as well. Okay, so just so you have an idea as to where I'm going with this. And then bring the knees together. The knees can either be together or slightly apart, but the feet are apart. And I'm going to gently lean the body back. Now what I want to do is feel supported underneath my buttocks as well as the head. So I'm going to readjust the body here. And what I might actually do is take the pillow underneath the buttocks, and I'm going to fold the blanket a bit more so that it's very much supporting my neck. So as I'm doing this, hopefully you're also doing the same to feel that you can be supported in whatever version of this pose you come to. And so if you don't have blocks, you can just gather more pillows, more cushions, anything that can be propped up a bit higher with less give. Letting your hands rest comfortably anywhere, whether it's on the floor, your feet, your hips, or your thighs. And then just letting your body begin to settle. So this is, or it can be, a strong pose, a relatively strong pose, and thus I want you to really take these different props as a way to support you to decrease the intensity. But should you still feel like it's quite strong even with the props, I would suggest that you then change the leg position so you're more in a butterfly pose. That would be releasing the legs forward, having the soles together and the knees apart. And eventually when you find yourselves comfortable, okay, that being a relative word, letting your eyes close down. And surrendering to the force of gravity. For those of you like me who are more in the reclined hero position of the legs, just make sure there's no strong pressure in the low back. If there is, readjust. And unlike the yin practice where we are demanding quite a bit from the body, here we're using these poses as a way to reset our nervous system. So if you feel like there's quite a bit of stress on your body, then again, I encourage you to readjust so it is less so. And nothing is completely static. There's some fluidity to these poses. But as we continue to stay here, feeling more and more relaxed, and giving yourself the permission to drop deeper into your awareness. We're going to be here for about 1 minute longer. Take one more long breath. And use your hands either on your feet or the floor and slowly make your way up. Okay, please take your time. Once you come to sit up straight, take pause. And then set the props aside. We will come to child's pose. Feel free to use any of those props underneath your forehead. Open your eyes. Lift your body. Let's take the blanket. And it might not be a blanket. Just notice how I use it, and then if it ends up being a pillow or anything else, just do that. The blanket is going to go beneath our belly, just between the space of your hips and low ribs. And you can also have the pillow nearby. I'm going to grab the block. So this rests underneath the forehead. So the block underneath the forehead is just going to help, let's say, minimize or decrease the pressure on the belly. There might be some of you who decide, actually, I can go all the way down. If it's too strong, uncomfortable for the abdominals, for the abdomen, please take your body higher. If you don't have a block or pillows for the underside of your head, you can come up onto your elbows and do that instead. Right? So the more you keep your head and chest away from the floor, less intense on the stomach, the closer you come to the ground, the more pressure that there is. As we are only using a blanket or a pillow, hopefully it's not too much pressure, just enough to stimulate the digestive system. So the health of our digestion is important in keeping us healthy. Ironically, hearing my belly grumble. We'll just stay here for another minute or so. And if I haven't said yet, these poses, they don't have to be the most intense. We're trying to be in places that allow us to rest, to focus more on having the body relaxed and the mind focused. Minimal stress in the body. Stay where you are, three more breaths. Begin lifting your head, sliding your hands to the sides of your chest, pushing into the hands, lift the chest, and then come to tabletop pose. Sit back in hero, hips are on your feet, hands resting on your lap or on your thighs. Close your eyes. Now open your eyes. And for this last pose, we're going to move to the wall. And of course, bring the mat towards the wall if you would like. I'll just leave mine here and I'm going to use the blanket. Now, if you don't have the blanket and you want, and you have the pillow instead, basically you're going to have it up against the wall. Then the way you transition up is to sit either on that blanket or on the cushion, right or left side at the wall. You're going to lean down onto the floor and then lift your legs up. Okay, once your legs are on the wall, you're going to use your elbows to help wiggle your body a little bit closer to the wall. Some of you may be able to get the buttocks completely flush with the wall. Some of you may not. Don't worry about that so much. And then feet are high. Okay, so I'm going to keep my feet straight up. Some of you might find that it's hard to keep the legs together, in which case you can take the legs wide. If you feel like rather having your feet against the wall, that is also an option for you. But try to choose a position that you can stay in for these last moments. And not really moments, we're here for a good few minutes. Let your eyes close down. Feel the weight of your body growing heavier. And be aware of any engagement of your muscles, maybe around your thighs, your glutes. Try to keep yourself soft. Imagine the heads of your thigh bones dropping deep into the pelvis. The pelvis itself, the whole of your hips, heavy on the ground or on the blanket or cushion. And just one more moment, one more minute, I should say here. Take a full breath in. Open the mouth. So this is our last pose. And if you wish to stay exactly as you are longer, of course, you have the time and space to do so. If you're coming out, we're going to bend the knees. Take one arm over your head. And gently walk your feet towards that side. Roll onto that side. And then just rest in that fetal pose. When you eventually come out of this position, you can lie flat on your back, take a few moments and in Shavasana, or sit upright and come to a seated meditation. Thank you all for joining in this practice today. Hopefully feeling somewhat reset in your nervous system, in your body. Namaste.